Natalie, we need to talk about something that rolled out from A'ja Wilson. We have been waiting for some signature shoe action. It's been quiet on the Nike front with A'ja. And finally, 2 days ago, we got a logo drop for the signature shoe line. And I think that there was a lot of confusion that I saw about kind of what we were all supposed to take from the logo. So I kind of want to get your impression first and then see if I can offer some clarity. Because I talked to Nike, I saw some stuff, but like, just tell me what you were thinking about the logo when it first rolled out.
You talked to Nike, of course, big dog, no doubt. Low-key flex. Listen, here's the logo.
Yes.
And so I feel like it depends which version of the logo you saw, because the version on her t-shirt confuses me. The version on her chain, I understand. And while it's the same exact thing, they look different, right? Here we are again, like on her neck, that clearly looks like an A to me. On the chain by itself, actually on the right, that doesn't necessarily look like an A to me, but like I see it slanted. So like on her neck in that picture, it looks like an A to me. So it's funny because Nike, I think, put out some details, and you tweeted about it, and I just saw a bunch of crap on the screen, to be honest.
Oh,
when I say crap, I'm not saying that's the same thing, but like this is like when I used to see like math equations, like I could barely read it, I didn't know what it was. So Callie, I'd like for you to explain it to me, because listen, if A'ja likes it, I love it. I just was confused about what the symbol is, because I really just wasn't seeing the A. Like in that picture at the lower bottom, it looks like an A, but it just doesn't always look like an A. And for me, that was my confusion. It's not really I like it, don't like it. I just didn't see the A all the time.
Okay. Well, what we'll start by is that in that previous photo, you could see A'ja Wilson's signature underneath the logo. And the A in her signature is always a star. And that's supposed to signify her being, like shining on and off the court. But all of this sketch that you see is them trying to like instill aspects of her, things that are like, trademark her into that symbolism. So you see like they put like sparkles from a disco ball, because A'ja loves to dance. She's always dancing on the sidelines. Like she's very bold and things like that. She wanted 90s inspiration. So they kind of played with a bunch of different things. And I think it's interesting because they want it to be bold. And I think that's kind of where people got confused. Because when you make something that I think, so like the way that it looks on the sketch, it's not bold, right? And you can see really well that it's kind of a slanted A, and then the corner is a sparkle. It's kind of like a sparkling star. But I think that when you make something like that bolder, it's harder to kind of distinguish that. But what I'm really confident in is, like, you kind of noted it on the necklace. You can see it really well from a distance. I think even when the necklace is like closer, you cannot, it's a little bit harder to distinguish. But I think what's gonna really
nailed it, distance. I was like, I noticed when this is further away, I can tell more.
Yeah, and so I think that's really gonna work in the logo's favor with when the shoe and all the different merch comes out, because like most times you're not looking at that stuff up close. You're looking at it like from the stands and on the feet of a player that's on the court, like, or on the shirt of a fan that's wherever. Like, I think that'll end up looking good. And I think also like the texture of it, right? Like on the pendant, there's some, like there's some density to it, whereas like flat lay, I think that also doesn't help. But I think colors and things like that will really change it. And I think this is actually going to be like, I think it makes sense also when you look at the sketch, because they talk about it, they want it to be scalable. Like they want it to have like a very iconic, and it's so funny because when I first saw it, I thought, I've seen this before, but I've never seen that before. It was just because she was wearing it like a bunch and we didn't know that she was wearing it. But no, if you really think about it, like I've never seen anything like that. Like there's nothing like this logo, which I think is going to be very beneficial. So, I mean, I think it's really interesting. I thought it was an interesting choice. And I don't know. I think that like as time goes by, because I think if you look at other logos, like think about like the Kobe Mamba's logo or like Sabrina Ionescu's signature shoe, it's literally just an S. Like, I think as far as logos go, this one is kind of in a class of its own and people will grow to like it. I just think that people are very quick to sometimes judge things, but I think this one will probably stand the test of time in my guess.
Okay, well, like I said, if Asia likes it, I love it. You know, it's like, and I will find like, I like the chain. I like certain things I saw. I will find something that I like, you know, to get. And I'm definitely supporting A. So it's like when they drop, I'm copping a pair, you know? So it's all good. You know how social is, you know how Twitter reacts. They overreact to everything. So I'm not that concerned about that. Like I said, for me, it was literally like, I just don't see the A. I was struggling. So I think I tweeted at you like, I still don't get it.
No, it was funny because Zena was like, this is like a Rorschach test. Like, it's like you can see it for one moment and you can kind of not see it.
Yes.
I would agree. I do think sometimes I'm looking at it and I'm like, can I see the A?
Right.
A little bit. Can I see it? I'm not sure. But like I said, I think distance, scale, whatever, that's all going to play a role. And then we're all going to be like, oh, when did we ever not see it? We can definitely see it. Maybe the ambiguity, though, might be handy because you can kind of put stuff into it. Like, I would imagine, like, this little, like, this side of the A, that could be a 1 if they wanted it to. Like, they can make things out of it, which maybe helps that it's ambiguous. Like, I'm talking about, like, right there in the
right on the right.
Like, that could kind of be like, they can make things out of it. I think maybe if it was more clear, they would lose that ambiguity to like do things with it in the future and like incorporate it into like slogans and marketing efforts. So maybe it's good that you're
because it almost looks like a tooth, like when it's not slanted, like it could be like a tooth, right?
My thing, I'm not gonna lie, to me, if you look at it sideways, it looks like a sports bra. That's the part that I can't unsee. It looks like a sports bra, like that. I don't know. That's the one thing I'm like, I wish I didn't see that. But
okay, I do what you're saying though about the 1 because they're called the A1s and it could be like an A and then a 1 on the side. So look, I do trust that Nike. I mean, look, I ain't gonna say that Nike gets everything right, but they have enough. Let me not even put it on Nike. Asia has enough taste and style and flyness to her that I know she's not going to let anything crazy drop. So I trust, you know, for it to be figured out. So I'm not overly concerned. But what I do just want to know really quickly is, did you speak to Asia about it at all?
Not yet. I was in North Carolina when it dropped. So, I mean, I'll be going to practice today and I probably will ask her about it. You know, did you see the reaction? What did you think of that? But I think ultimately what she's going to tell me is what I get from every answer to every question I ever ask her. She's very intentional about things, every single thing. Like, you know, you talk about Kate Martin being received so well. Like, it's all Asia just being very meticulous about stuff. And so I think that that's what I'll end up getting later today.
Okay. So yeah, so I mean, you guys make sure you're following Callie Lawson-Freeman because she will keep you dialed in on the Aces, and I look forward to hearing what Asia has to say about her logo. I'm curious if you could, you know, I don't know if you will, but I'd like to know what she thought of the reaction to it. I'm sure she saw it. So
I will ask. I've got my marching orders for today.
Okay. All right. Callie, thank you for keeping us updated all the time on the Las Vegas Aces and Asia Wilson. Have a great rest of the day, Callie.
Thanks, Nat. You too.